Let me say something that's going to sound either inspiring or slightly annoying depending on your mood right now. Eliud Kipchoge, the greatest marathon runner who has ever lived. The man who ran 26.2 miles in under 2 hours. The person who has made other elite athletes look like they're jogging to the mailbox. Trains with more joy, more patience, and more intentionality than almost any recreational runner you will ever meet. And you, with your GPS watch and your foam roller and your 3 running apps on your phone, are probably training with less discipline, less focus, and less self-awareness than he brings to a Tuesday morning easy run. That's not an insult, it's just the truth. And understanding why that's true is going to change how you think about every single run you do from this point forward. If you've been following this series, you already know we've been building something real here, episode by episode. We talked about why you're stuck. We talked about how to actually get faster. We broke down the 3 levers: aerobic base, running economy, mental ceiling. You've got the framework. Now it's time to zoom out and look at the philosophy behind the world's best runners. Because here's what I've realized watching people try to improve at running. Most people have the tactics, but not the mindset. And without the mindset, the tactics only take you so far. Today we fix that. Quick thing before we go deep. Drop a comment right now and tell me, had you heard of Kipchoge before this video? Because what I'm about to tell you about how he actually trains is going to surprise you regardless of the answer. Let's go. Here's the brutal reality of how most recreational runners approach their training. They treat every run like an audition. Every single time they lace up, they're trying to prove something. To themselves, to their fitness tracker, to the people they pass on the trail. They go out, they push, they try to beat their last time. They get frustrated. When they don't, they celebrate when they do. And then they do the exact same thing again next week. It's ego-driven running dressed up as discipline. And it feels productive. It feels like progress. But what it actually is noise. Loud, exhausting, inconsistent noise that keeps you spinning without actually moving forward. The world's elite runners don't train like that, at all. Kipchoge runs roughly 120 miles per week. Let that sink in for a second. 120 miles, every week. And here's what will genuinely shock most people when they learn it. The majority of those miles are run at a pace that feels comfortable, controlled, almost easy. He runs with his training group in Kenya, and they talk during their easy runs. They laugh. They're present. They're not grinding through every session with their teeth clenched, trying to extract maximum suffering from the experience. They're building, systematically, patiently. And then, on the specific days when the plan calls for hard effort, they go absolutely to work. Hard when it's supposed to be hard, easy when it's supposed to be easy, every single time, no negotiation. Now compare that to how you run, be honest. Do you even know which of your runs are supposed to be easy and which are supposed to be hard? Or does every run just end up somewhere in the middle? Not easy enough to actually recover? Not hard enough to actually push an adaptation? That medium zone, that comfortable, uncomfortable purgatory where nothing is really happening except you burning through energy and time and motivation. Most recreational runners live there permanently. Kipchoge visits it basically never. That gap is not about talent, it's about structure and intention. Here's something else about Kipchoge that people don't talk about enough. He sleeps. A lot. Like an almost embarrassing amount for a world-class athlete. He naps in the afternoon. He goes to bed early. He protects his recovery with the same seriousness he protects his training, because he understands something that most casual runners completely skip over. The training doesn't make you better. The recovery from the training makes you better. The run breaks you down. The sleep and rest and nutrition and downtime are when your body actually rebuilds. Stronger, more efficient, more capable. If you're skipping the recovery, you're doing half the work and wondering why you're only getting half the results. Actually, less than half. Because without recovery, the work you're doing is often actively working against you. Now let's talk about the excuses, because they're coming. I can feel them. But Kipchoge is a genetic freak. He was born for this. I'm just a normal person trying to run a decent 5K. Okay, first, yes, he has exceptional genetics. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but here's what that argument completely ignores. The principles he uses are not genetic. Patience is not genetic. Consistency is not genetic. Running easy on easy days is not a talent you're born with. Prioritizing sleep is not a biological gift. The structure of his training, the reason his easy days are actually easy, the reason his hard days hit when they're supposed to, that's a decision, a choice, a habit. And every single one of those choices is available to you right now, today. You don't need his lungs, you need his approach. I don't have time to train that methodically. I just squeeze in runs when I can. I hear this one constantly, and I want to push back on it gently but firmly. You're not being asked to run 120 miles a week. You're being asked to run with intention when you do run. That costs zero extra time. Going out for your 30-minute run with a clear purpose, this is an easy run, I'm building base, I'm protecting my recovery, takes exactly the same amount of time as going out and doing whatever feels right in the moment. The difference is entirely in the approach, not the clock. I run to clear my head. I don't want it to be this sane, structured, valid, completely valid. Running for mental health and stress relief is a real and important thing. But here's what I'd ask you. Are you using that reason as a genuine priority or as a convenient excuse to avoid accountability? Because you can absolutely run for mental clarity and still be intentional about how you do it. They're not mutually exclusive. The world's best runners talk about flow states, about meditation in motion, about the mental peace they find in their easy runs. Structure doesn't kill the joy of running. Lack of structure just kills the progress. Now let's get into the real stuff, the practical takeaways that you can actually use. The first thing Kipchoge embodies that you need to steal immediately is the concept of process over outcome. He doesn't run a training session trying to hit a specific time. He runs the session trying to execute the session correctly. The process is the goal. The outcome, the race time, the performance, is a byproduct of executing the process well, over and over for a long time. Most recreational runners do this completely backward. They're obsessed with the outcome. What's my 5K time? Did I beat my personal record? Am I getting faster? And they pay almost no attention to whether the process that's supposed to produce those outcomes is actually being done correctly. Fix the process. The outcomes will follow, every time. Here's what that looks like in your actual running week. Instead of going out and thinking, I want to run this 5K in under 30 minutes today, go out thinking, today is an easy run, my job is to keep my breathing controlled and my effort low for the full distance. That's the process. Execute that. Come back next week and execute it again. And on your hard day, go out thinking today I'm going to push the middle section and hold on through the discomfort. Execute that. Repeat. The time will come down, not because you chased it, because you built the foundation that produces it. The second thing, and this one is going to sound almost philosophical, but stay with me, is that Kipchoge runs with joy, not fake positivity, not motivational poster energy, real joy. He smiles during races, not to perform for cameras, but because he has cultivated a relationship with running that is genuinely positive at its core. He talks about running as a gift, as a privilege, as something he's grateful to do. And that mindset has a real practical effect on performance. Research consistently shows that athletes who associate positive emotions with their training recover faster, push harder during hard efforts, and sustain motivation over longer periods. The runners who treat every session as a brutal obligation eventually quit or plateau. The ones who find genuine appreciation for the process keep getting better. Now, I'm not telling you to fake happiness when you're dying at kilometer 4, but I am asking, what's your relationship with running right now? Is it a punishment? Is it a chore you do for the outcome? Or is there something there, some piece of it, that you actually love? Because if there is, lean into it, find it, protect it. That connection is more valuable than any training plan. The third principle, and this one is the most underrated by far, is that Kipchoge is radically consistent over a very long period of time. Not perfectly consistent, consistently consistent. He doesn't have legendary weeks followed by weeks of nothing. He doesn't go all in for a month and then recover by disappearing for 3 weeks. He runs every week, week after week, year after year. The compounding effect of that consistency over time is what produces the results that look like genius from the outside. From the inside, it's just showing up, again and again, even when motivation is low, even when progress feels invisible, even when a particular training block feels like it isn't working. This is the hardest one for most people to accept because we live in a world that worships transformation and before and after moments. Nobody makes a YouTube video about the 47th consecutive Tuesday of unremarkable training. But that Tuesday is often more important than the race. That Tuesday is where the real work happens. That Tuesday is what Kipchoge built his career on. And it's what you need to build your 5K personal best on, scaled appropriately to your life and your goals. So here's the summary. Here's what Kipchoge does that you probably don't. He runs easy on easy days, every time, without ego. He runs hard on hard days, fully committed, with purpose. He recovers like it's part of the training, because it is. He focuses obsessively on the process rather than chasing the outcome. He maintains a genuine, positive relationship with running that sustains his motivation across years and decades. And he shows up, week after week, with radical consistency that compounds into something that looks like superhuman talent, but is actually superhuman habit. None of those things require elite genetics. All of them require a decision. Here's the question I want you to sit with after this video. Which of those 5 things is most absent from your current approach to running? Not which one is hardest, which one is most missing, because that's your highest leverage point right now. That's where the biggest improvement lives for you specifically. Think about it, be honest about it, and then do something about it before next week. You've come a long way in this series. From understanding why you were stuck, to learning how to actually get faster, to now understanding the philosophy that underpins elite performance. That's real progress. That's a different runner than the one who started episode 1. And we're not done yet. Because here's the thing. Everything we've talked about, the easy days, the hard days, the recovery, the process, the consistency, it all raises a question that I've been saving for the next episode. And it's the question that trips up almost every runner at some point on this journey, beginner and intermediate alike. Is the problem that you're not training enough? Or is the problem that you're not training right? Because those two problems have completely different solutions. And if you're applying the wrong solution to the wrong problem, you're going to spin your wheels indefinitely. In the next video, I'm going to break down exactly how to tell the difference and exactly what to do about it, depending on where you actually are. It's the episode that connects all of this into a real, actionable training approach. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. We're building something real here, episode by episode, and the next one is the practical payoff of everything we've covered in this series so far. And before you go, tell me in the comments, of the 5 things Kipchoge does that we talked about today, which one do you think you're worst at right now? Easy days? Recovery, consistency, process mindset, joy? Be honest, I want to know. And your answer might end up in the next video. See you there.